friends, welcome back to our channel NEET Biology Expert. I am Dr. Parveen. In this lecture series, we are studying class 12 biology chapter human reproduction. In this particular lesson, we are going to study in detail about the structure of a human egg cell. See, during menstrual cycle at the 14th week of the cycle, ovulation occurs. So during ovulation, what happens? The mature Graafian follicle ruptures and releases the secondary oocyte. So exactly the secondary oocyte is what we are calling as an egg. So its structure only we are going to see here. Okay. So the unfertilized egg released from the mature Graafian follicle during ovulation is called secondary oocyte. This secondary oocyte has multiple names. Unfertilized egg or ova or immature egg. Immature egg. So all these refers to this secondary oocyte only. Okay. So after the sperm comes and does fertilization only, this immature egg gets matured and it becomes ovum. So until that, we have to call it as a secondary oocyte one. Okay. So what we are going to study is the structure of a secondary oocyte. Fine. So this is the structure of a secondary oocyte. So let us see every parts in detail. Okay. The shape of this egg cell is round. It is round in structure and it is non-motile. So what is motility? Motility or motile means movement. Movement. Okay. See, this is a female gamete cell, right? So similarly, we have male gamete cell. So what is the male gamete cell? Sperm is the male gamete cell, right? So the sperm has a tail. So with the help of this tail, the sperm is motile. Okay, right? So hence, the male gamete is motile, whereas the ova or the female gamete is non-motile because it has no tail. So it stays in its position where the sperm swims and reach the ovum or the egg cell. Okay, fine. So it is non-motile and haploid in nature. It has 23 number of chromosomes, haploid in nature. And what is the size of the egg cell? It is 100 microns. It's very important. Or 0.1 mm. This is the size of an egg cell. And this human egg is non-cleidoic in nature. What is cleidoic means? Shell. See, if you see a bird egg, hen's egg, okay, there is an outer shell, protective outer shell, right? So similarly, this type of shell is not present in mammals. So particularly we are talking here about humans, right? So there is no shell. So hence it is called as non-cleidoic. And it is microlecithal or alecithal. Here lecithal means yolk sac. Lecithal means yolk sac. So what is yolk sac? What is yolk sac? For example, take again a hen's egg. Okay. So the hen's egg has the center part. This is yolk sac. So this is yellow in color, right? So what is the use or the purpose of this yolk sac? So see, when the bird lays the egg, the bird has no attachment, right? It gets detached and the egg will be there, and when the embryo grows, the growing embryo takes the nutrition from this yellow region, that is from the yolk sac. Okay. Whereas in a human egg cell, there is no such environment because this egg is getting fertilized, the zygote is multiplying, and the embryo is growing inside the uterus, right? Inside the womb. So here the nutrition is provided from the mother through placenta, right? So the embryo is getting the nutrition from the mother directly through the placenta. Hence, there is no need for this yolk sac. That's why the human egg has very minute quantity of yolk sac. That's why it is called microlecithal. Micro means very less. And sometimes we call this as alecithal also. A means absence. There is no yolk sac itself. Actually, yolk sac is there, but it is in very less quantity. So that's why we used to call this as microlecithal. Whereas in some books, they mention this as alecithal. Okay. So human egg is microlecithal or alecithal in nature. Right. So let's see the first structure, that is the nucleus. So nucleus is the main part of the egg. This nucleus of the egg appears large in size and this is called germinal vesicle. So look at this picture. This green color structure is the large sized nucleus. This is called germinal vesicle. Okay. So in this germinal vesicle, inside we have here this area. This is exactly called the nucleus, where the chromosome is present. Okay. So how the chromosomes are? The chromosome is haploid in nature, 23 number of chromosome. And exactly how this chromosome will be? This will be like this. It will be like in a shape of a spindle. Okay, because this secondary oocyte has already completed its first meiotic division. Now it is waiting for the second meiotic division to undergo. Okay, so that's why it is ready to undergo second meiotic division after the fertilization. So inside the nucleus present chromosome and it is ready for the second meiotic division. Okay. After second meiotic division only, the nucleus gets its complete structure that we call as a typical nucleus or pronucleus. Clear? Fine. The second structure present in the egg, that is surrounding the nucleus, we call as the cytoplasm. This cytoplasm has two regions. So see, this is the nucleus. Okay. So up to here is the cytoplasm. This cytoplasm has two regions. The outside, this orange color structure, no, this outside external cortex, this region is called as exoplasm. Okay, and this blue color, you see here, this one blue color thick region is called as ooplasm. Okay, so both are cytoplasm. Both the exoplasm and ooplasm together we called as cytoplasm. Okay, together we called as cytoplasm. But cytoplasm has two regions. The external egg cortex is exoplasm and the internal cytoplasm is called ooplasm. Since this ooplasm, this blue color layer, is more in quantity, we generally call the egg cytoplasm as ooplasm. Clear? It's very important. The cytoplasm of the egg is called as ooplasm. So what is present in this ooplasm? All the organelles, cell organelles are present, and particularly more amount of mitochondria is present. More mitochondria is present in this ooplasm. Why mitochondria is present? Because after fertilization, the cell has to undergo cell division. So it needs more energy. So in order to provide the energy, it needs mitochondria, right? It needs ATP. So mitochondria is present more in this cytoplasm. Okay. So this ooplasm has nucleus, all the organelles, and very less yolk sac together called as the ooplasm. But only one important thing is absent in this cytoplasm or ooplasm. That is centrioles. Centrioles is absent in the cytoplasm of the egg cell. This is very important. Why centriole is absent? Because this centriole will be provided by the incoming sperm. So during fertilization, the sperm brings the centriole. It brings the proximal centriole, right? So this centriole is needed for carry out the second meiotic division. So since the centriole is not present only, it is stopped in the first meiotic division in the secondary oocyte. Clear? And what else is present in the cytoplasm? The cytoplasm contains food reservoirs, particularly fat molecules. Okay, so when the zygote is developing and the cell has to divide, no, it has to form blastula, morula, like this stage. 1 becomes 2, 2 become 4, like this. A mass of these cells will be produced. So for that it needs energy, no. So those energy will be provided by the food reserves which is present in the cytoplasm. Clear? Fine. The next part in the egg is the covering. The egg is surrounded by 3 coverings: inner covering, middle covering, and outer covering. The inner covering is called vitelline membrane or egg membrane. The middle covering is called zona pellucida and the outer external covering is called corona radiata. Okay, so look in this picture, see here, till this region we said this is cytoplasm, right? So there is a just above the cytoplasm there is a very thin covering that is called vitelline membrane, and above the vitelline membrane is the zona pellucida, and above the zona pellucida is the corona radiata. These three are the cell coverings. Okay, so let us see this one by one. So the first inner covering is called vitelline membrane. Here, this egg ooplasm is covered by a thin transparent membrane. Here, this is a very thin membrane, transparent. Transparent means the light can penetrate through this. So it is very transparent, and this is called vitelline membrane. This vitelline membrane is produced by the egg itself. Okay, so the egg cell is producing a thin transparent covering around its outer layer. Okay, so hence this is also called as egg membrane. Who is secreting the egg membrane? It is secreted by the egg cell itself. Okay, so this is the first membrane. Clear? The second one is the middle covering, that is the zona pellucida. So here in this picture you see here this blue color thick one, this is a covering. This is a very thick covering. This is a very thick covering and very important covering for an egg cell. This is called zona pellucida. This zona pellucida is acellular. Acellular means it is not having cell. Okay, and then it is made up of glycoprotein. It is very important. The zona pellucida is made up of glycoproteins. So that's why its structure is like jelly-like appearance. It looks like jelly-like appearance and it protects the cell. Okay, so who is secreting the zona pellucida? The follicular cells are secreting the zona pellucida. Okay, so where is follicular cells? See, outside the zona pellucida, these structures are there, no? So these are the granulosa cells or follicular cells. So these cells are secreting the zona pellucida. Clear? Okay, so once the fertilization finishes, what happened? The egg cell changes its zona pellucida structure so that the second sperm cannot enter inside. So once one sperm does its fertilization, the zona pellucida changes its structure so that the second sperm could not enter. Okay, so that's why zona pellucida is very important structure in an egg cell. See here, the zona pellucida structures altered after the fertilization. Clear? So this is the second covering. Here, there is a space which is present in between the vitelline membrane and the zona pellucida. It is a very narrow fluid-filled space that is called perivitelline space. See here, see in this picture, this thin layer is called vitelline membrane and this blue color layer is called zona pellucida. In between the vitelline membrane and zona pellucida, there is a small narrow space. It has fluid filled cavity. So that space is called perivitelline space. So this is not clearly given in this picture. Look at this picture at your right, this picture. Okay, so here this yellow area is zona pellucida and this is vitelline membrane. Okay, and here there is a space, you see. This space is called perivitelline space. Okay, so what is present in this perivitelline space? First polar body, very important. First polar body lies in the perivitelline space. So what is this first polar body? When we studied oogenesis, you know that the primary oocyte, after one meiotic division, it becomes secondary oocyte and a polar body, right? Right? So one big cell and one small cell. So the big cell is this secondary oocyte and the small size is also lying here only, where in this region. Okay, so this is the polar body. Okay, see here also it also has a nucleus. Okay, so this is the polar body. So this polar body lies in the perivitelline space. Clear? And the third external covering or the outer covering of the egg is called corona radiata. So what is corona radiata? Adhering to the outer surface of zona pellucida, There are several radially elongated cells forming corona radiata. See, this blue wala is the zona pellucida, right? So, surrounding the zona pellucida, these cells, see, there are some cells. These are the granulosa cells or follicular cells. Okay, so they are arranged radially like this. So, throughout this structure, you could see these cells are just sticking one another, and the shape is like this. This is called radially elongated cell. This is the nucleus. Okay, the shape is like this, radially elongated cells, this forming a covering. So since it forms like a covering, this is called corona. Corona means covering. Okay, and radiata means radially elongated cells forming a covering. Okay, that is called corona radiata. These cells are formed by, these cells are derived from the innermost layer of the granulosa cells or follicular cells. Okay, so we know that this is coming from Graafian follicle only, you know. So these cells are follicular or the granulosa cells, and they are firmly held together with one another by hyaluronic acid, and also they attached with this zona pellucida layer with this hyaluronic acid. Clear? Fine. So when a sperm cell has to enter, first it has to penetrate this corona radiata, then it has to penetrate the zona pellucida, then only it can enter inside the egg cell. Okay, so that's how the egg cell is having pre-cover membrane, right? Okay, see, now you should know something called the egg has poles. Okay, every egg has poles. Here egg has two poles. One is called animal pole and another is called vegetal pole. So what is animal pole and vegetal pole? See, when you see the structure of this egg cell, for example, if this is the center of the egg, you can see that the nucleus never lies exactly in the center. This nucleus lies in any one corner, either here in the corner, in this corner, or in this corner. Any one corner only it is lying. Okay, always like this in the egg. Why? Because in one side, if the nucleus is lying, the other side will be having the yolk sac. Okay, right? So where the nucleus, at which region the nucleus is lying, that end is called animal pole. That end is called animal pole. And the opposite end where the yolk sac is present, this is called vegetal pole. It's called vegetal pole. Okay, so when the sperm penetrates the egg, it always comes and penetrates in the animal pole, not in the vegetal pole. And what happens here in the animal pole, the cells in the animal pole, they replicate fastly because it has to undergo cell division, then zygote will be formed, then the embryo will be growing fastly. Okay, so the cells in the animal pole divide fastly, whereas the cells in the vegetal pole, they divide very slowly because it has the yolk sac which carries the nutrients, so it has to naturally divide slowly. Okay, clear? Right? So all the egg has two poles, animal pole and a vegetal pole. Clear? Okay, so this is the structure of an egg cell. So far we have seen. Let us just fastly recap whatever we have seen so far. This is the structure of the egg. This is also called as secondary oocyte. The size is 0.1 millimeter in diameter. This is non-motile and the nucleus is large, that is called germinal vesicle. Okay, and it is surrounded by cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is two layered. The outer layer is called exoplasm, the inner layer is called ooplasm. Together we call this as cytoplasm. And the egg has three membrane covering. A very thin membrane is called vitelline membrane surrounding the cytoplasm. This is also called as egg membrane, and this membrane is produced by the cell itself. Okay, egg cell itself. And the next covering is a very thick covering called zona pellucida. This is an acellular covering, glycoproteinaceous in nature. This covering is produced by the follicular cells. Okay. And the third external covering is the corona radiata. This is made by the follicular cells. The follicular cell sticks together by one hyaluronic acid, and they form an external covering called corona radiata. Clear? This is the very easy structure of a human egg cell. Fine. Our next lecture will be on fertilization and implantation. So if you like this lecture, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Neat Biology Expert. See you in another lecture. Thank you.